run game. Really confuse these dynamic and athletic Cowboys linebackers. Wade goodbye.
He scored 4 touchdowns and then trying to bring the Cowboys back late in the game. Here's Prescott being intercepted for the 3rd time. This probably should have been defensive holding or pass interference on this play.
Yeah, they let him play a little bit of physical here. This is the name of the game for the Packers defensive backs, though. Bump, hit, confuse these Dallas Cowboys wide receivers and make Dak make tight throws.
Now you can see that Prescott threw for 463 yards, second most ever for a Cowboys quarterback, but it's the first time he ever lost a game when throwing for over 275, and obviously the 3 picks were a big part of that. So there's a lot coming out of this game on both sides. I want to put 60 seconds on the clock, and I wanted to start with a definitive answer to this question once and for all, because Dak Prescott has become, I think, the most discussed player in the National Football League. 60 seconds. Was Dak exposed yesterday?
Not to me. I'm sure to a lot of people, but no, I've constantly said Dak is a good player, and he's consistently been a good, solid player. He's never been a great player where he has gone, you know what, our football team's not playing well, our defense isn't making any stops, we don't have a run game, I got you. And so, yeah, to a lot of maybe national people he was. This is a team that was 3 for 11 on 3rd down last week. Dak threw for 0 yards yesterday on 3rd down. That's literally almost impossible to do in the NFL. So there's a lot of exposure nationally to Dak right now.
Well, the thing that I question is, look, 3rd down, you throw for 0 yards. He threw for 463 in the game. That looks great on paper, but this is not fantasy football. When it matters most, you got to connect on 3rd down and in the red zone. And to me, that's the money downs that you pay these great quarterbacks. That's how they separate. What I saw, though, is they were exposed offensively. Why? You don't have Tyron Smith, by the way. That's the guy you ought to pay, right? Because he's the best left tackle in the league. But Mike Pettin and good coordinators are going to take advantage of
the
Dallas.
Good coordinators are going to go. Just get him in the 3rd down.
Absolutely, and win on 3rd down.
Let's talk about the Packers then, and their good coordinators, and their really good quarterback, and their really good defense. 60 seconds on the clock. I want a definitive answer. Are the Packers the best team in the NFC?
This week. And
that is not definitive.
You can never say it, because the whole season we've been talking about every other team.
But project forward. Look at what they have with that defense, with the running back, with the quarterback. They did this without, they scored all those points without Devontae Adams yesterday.
Exactly. And when you look at, you got a Hall of Fame quarterback, you finally have a defense that's aggressive, and they create turnovers. They give up yards, there's no question about that. And they're not a shutdown, once in a lifetime defense, but they create turnovers. That's all you need to do with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback.
No, they're not. I'm still taking a healthy Philadelphia Eagles team, and I would put the Saints in there. This team's really good, and they're going to be in the conversation, and Matt LaFleur has done an outstanding job of making some adjustments, but I'm still taking the Philadelphia Eagles with a healthy roster and the New Orleans Saints with that defense right now shutting down.
And the Rams and Seattle and whoever.
And the Eagles, it should be pointed out, just beat Green Bay on the road on a Thursday night a week ago. And then we'll see with the Eagles. They had a bye yesterday, otherwise known as the Jets. And then a 60 seconds on the clock here, Rex. Here we go. Let's get to the Bears, because they lost to the Raiders in London. Their offense was not good enough. 60 seconds. Can that defense carry the Bears to the Super Bowl this year?
No, because I don't think that this is not the 85 Bears defense. I think they're a great defense, probably the best defense in the league. But that offense has got to do better than this. They have to have some. Look, when we won in 2000, our offense was complementary. We ran the football and did not turn the ball over. And that's the formula they need. They can't be thinking they're the Kansas City Chiefs and throwing it all over the place. It's not the formula.
They're good enough. Yes, they can lead this team to a championship. This is the same defense that for the first month of the season has been absolutely dominant. Like, you did not want to play them. Dominant on the defensive line, dominant at linebacker, and dominant on their back end. Don't forget, Hicks wasn't there yesterday, and I'll tell everybody at home, London is a different experience, so don't pay attention to yesterday. Terrible loss, but this defense is good enough to get this team to the NFC title.
It's a terrible loss on a day where Minnesota wins and looks a lot better. The Lions have been a lot better than we expected them to be, and the Packers might be the best team in the NFC. There's not room for bad losses right now if you play in the NFC North. Quickly, a little eye candy from the NFL yesterday. 2 plays I wanted to see. First one, how does Carson Wentz not get sacked on this play?
Because he's a ridiculously good player, like I've been telling everybody for 2 years. They just don't want to listen. This is that Chris Berman, whoop! Like, whoop!
Rex,
I mean, that's
him, though. And look how poised he stays.
And all I would say here is Will Kane. Dak can't do that.
All right. And then one more. Christian McCaffrey, a little more eye candy for you here. He's become the most dynamic dual threat player in the sport. And I got 2 plays for you here. Speaking of fist bump and whoops. All right, he's fighting. Look at him here making plays. What do you make of Christian McCaffrey right now? Look at that move.
No, Christian McCaffrey right now is the best player in the NFL. In the conversation with Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson, he's the best player in the NFL. He's averaging 170 yards per game from scrimmage. That would shatter NFL records.
And it would. And the guy's phenomenal. There's no doubt. But I can't wait to get Saquon Barkley back in because he's the same kind of back. There's 2 amazing type backs that are playing in the National Football League right now, not named Ezekiel Elliott, who's a great back too. But these 2 are head and shoulders above the rest.
The all-time record for yards from scrimmage is just over 2,500 right now. McCaffrey is very much on pace to shatter that record. Okay, super busy day. Elle, where do we go next?
We are going to baseball. I'm talking about the NLDS Game 3 between the Nationals and Dodgers. Now listen, Tex, Mark Teixeira joining us. We knew that the Nationals were probably going to put in a starter to relieve in a game. But to put Patrick Corbin in a few days after how he pitched, what did you think of the move?
Well, this was a first guess to begin with because of Patrick Corbin on that short rest, and he's not used to being out of the bullpen. And the Dodgers just made him pay. All these right-handed hitters came in. You see Kike Hernandez here. You know, when the Dodgers can match up righty versus lefty and Corbin's leaving these pitches up in the zone because he's a little tired, it's a recipe for disaster.
So that Kike double was enough. Corbin would be pulled, but the Dodgers extend the lead to 5-2. So in now, Wander Suero, and at this point, he's facing Justin Turner, and I think we all knew how this was going to go. Turner's 8th career postseason home run, and he comes up clutch.
Great at bat, gets it to 3-2, and gets a cutter right down the middle. Justin Turner does not miss it. And Nats fans are not happy with that 6th inning.
They're not. Dodgers score 7 runs in the 6th, most ever in any inning. So now the Nationals will try to stave elimination today, and they're going to go with their ace to help them do that, that being Max Scherzer. Based on what you saw, what is the key for Scherzer against this particular lineup?
Well, this isn't the Max Scherzer that we all know and love, the guy that's dominant, the multiple Cy Young winner. He's a little beat up. He's been hurt this year. So because of that, he has to pound the strike zone. And you might say, well, Tex, look how good the Dodgers hitters are. Why does he need to pound the strike zone? Because they don't swing at balls. This Dodgers team is very, very good. They're very patient. And if Scherzer is going to get behind guys with lackluster stuff where he has to throw fastballs down the middle or he's walking guys, putting guys on, the Dodgers will make him pay.
Okay, so are the Nationals going to force again? That's like a way of not asking for a prediction, but asking for a prediction.
You know, I think they are because it's going to be all hands on deck again. And I feel like the Nationals, they're a good team. They're a really good team. And if they can get their bullpen right, if they can get Doolittle and Hudson into that game with the lead, I think the Nationals can win this one.
I would love to see a longer series. We'll certainly see that. We're not done with Mark Teixeira just yet. That's because after this hit on Mason Rudolph, most normal people would be thinking, you're going to see it eventually, why do pros keep getting up and keep playing? And a bunch of them are going to tell you why next. Tex has a story too.